Hi, Danielle. I'm so glad that you're
Hi.
here. I just wanted to take a couple seconds to talk to you about your experience and then what you have been going through as we've been kind of working on your health. So why
Yes.
don't you start with introducing yourself and then also telling me things that you have struggled with before you started working with together.
Okay. All right. My name is Danielle Baker. When I started this program, I was 26. It hasn't been like 2 years, but my birthday was midway. And when I was 19, I was in a motorcycle accident. So I had a traumatic brain injury. And then with the trauma, it caused me to have PCOS. And I haven't had a natural period. It's all been with medication. And like, I got married in 2018. We've been trying to have a baby since 2018 because right away we were like, yes, let's start a family. Nothing, no regular periods. I've gone to fertility doctors, I've gone to endocrinologists, I've done so much. Like, they always say, like, oh, don't think about it, just relax. And it's like, I've tried meditation, I've tried acupuncture, I've tried weed, I've tried so much. Nothing has worked. I've gotten my periods, but because of medication. If I don't take the medication, I don't get my period. So that is why I got in the program.
Gotcha,
And
gotcha.
that is why it's successful because I get my period now.
Heck yeah, awesome. So going through
Yes.
the program, like obviously whenever you're trying to fix your hormones, it's going to take a little bit of extra effort in order to
Mhm.
really get your body to do what it's trying to do. Because that's what we're trying to do here, right? We're trying to get your body to have innate ability to learn what it needs in order for you to not have to be reliant on medications or even
Sure.
supplements for that matter. But we have to make sure that everything is in line with your lifestyle and your sleeping habits and your mood, and everything is kind of coming together, as well as having the other stuff. What were the most important things to you when you signed up for this program that you felt was going to be helpful to get you to the area that you needed to like get your hormones under control?
I wanted to find like things that were like, I guess, aggravating to my body. Like I was taking so many, medication. The only like prescribed one is metformin, but I was taking so many supplements. And it was like, I felt like a 70-year-old with all my pills. It was like 9 or 10. And when I would travel, it was like fill a Ziploc with like, it was like a pound. Like it was so many different supplements. And like I would see something online. I'm like, okay, I gotta try that. I gotta try this. I gotta try that. I gotta try this. And then finding also like, when I read the description of the program, it was like, what food sensitivities do I have? So
Mhm.
that really helped. Like I found that I'm sensitive to
Mhm.
gluten. Like I didn't know that before, and I would eat the gluten all the time, and then I stopped for like a month.
Mhm.
Boom, I got my period. And so
Love
I
it.
was like, oh my gosh, like, and then just other things like, like coffee. I used to think I needed like 3, 4 cups a day. Like now I barely have one. I have one because meh. And I like the taste of coffee, so I got coffee that's like no caffeine, like not decaf because that has a little bit of caffeine. It's no caffeine. It just tastes like coffee, and I like it. So it was finding those things that my body is sensitive to is what
Awesome.
was like really important to me, and the fact that I found it is amazing.
Fantastic. Okay, cool. So you
Yes.
found like what about the community aspect of it, or having like a plan, or even like all the lessons that of the hormone lessons so that you can understand your body. How do you feel like that has helped you really understand how everything works in conjunction so you can make the best decisions for
Right.
yourself going forward?
Yeah, like all the different quizzes, and it explained like what it was to have like a problem with your testosterone, or like a problem with your adrenal, and like it explained like what the, I guess, symptoms would be. And then it's like, oh, maybe I have that. It's not diagnosed, but it's like you look something up on Google and you're like, I have brain cancer just because my left earlobe is hurting. It wasn't like that, but it was different things that were like, it's related so much that it was like, oh, you know what? Yeah. And then, go through the steps, and it's like, I guess I did.
Yeah.
So everything was so well explained. And like the quizzes every week, it was like, when the result would come out, I'll be like, oh shit. And you don't, I wouldn't lie in the quizzes. Like I would straight up say how
Yeah.
it is and what it was, and it would give you the answer. It wasn't like a definite, like, this is what you have. It was like leading towards this. You might have this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then
100%.
the community was great. Like all the girls, it was awesome. Like seeing the every week, like I would remember like the first week, like some girls talking about this and like the problems, and then during like like weeks like 4, 5, and 6, and they were like, oh, I feel great, I have all this energy, and I was like, damn girl,
Getting
awesome.
it.
Yeah. And
That's
then when I was like,
fantastic.
I got my period, and they were also happy for me, and I was like, oh, I cried.
Oh,
It was
yes, we
awesome.
all did.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, it's a great segue. What have you noticed a difference after working together? Like the biggest differences for you that you were struggling with before?
I think like anxiety and depression, like I was going through, like some anxiety, a lot of depression. Like I would have a lot of like really just negative thoughts, and I would want to self-harm, and I did a couple of times, and it was like, have a lot of very depressing moods. And like I would go to a psychologist, but I was just like, I can't get it. So now I know that it was my hormones, obviously, because now I feel great. Like I feel happy, I feel content, I feel like at peace with myself.
Oh, I love that. That makes the biggest difference.
Yes.
That's the hardest thing I see that women struggle with is,
Yeah,
being misdiagnosed and then being put on a medication that can make it even worse. And then they're dealing with
exactly.
the after. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Exactly.
So you, in that period thing, you're trying to have a baby and hopefully
Yes.
we get an update someday of the happy
Yes.
arrival, but
Yes. Yes.
getting your period back after not having it for how many years without medications?
Oh, without medications, it was sorry. Without medication, no, oh my gosh, it was 3 years. Yeah, 3 years.
3 years.
Like normal, like well, no, more than that. Because I was taking birth control since 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So I was getting it every day. I mean, every day, every month.
Every month.
2017, I stopped it. And then in 2018, I didn't have a period 2018.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
I went to see the fertility doctor in 2019 at the beginning. So I was getting periods because of medication.
Mm-hmm.
So really, I haven't gotten a regular period since
Way back
2012.
there.
Yeah. Way
Gotcha.
back in the day. Yeah.
Well, that's fabulous. We're not on any medications, and that's 2 months in a row that that was only a month into the program that you actually got your period
Yeah.
back. And then you
Yeah.
had 2 full that were regular, like on the day that your app
On
tracker
the
said it was
day.
going to be. Ah, that's so
Yeah.
exciting.
Oh
So,
my
oh
gosh,
my
I know.
goodness. Yeah, I know. So for people who are listening, that have past traumatic things like a TBI or having PCOS or having other hormonal things that could be diagnosed or not diagnosed, there's a lot of hope. I mean, even just changing those little aspects of it, you can see something like Danielle doing so amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Danielle. I really appreciate
Yes.
it. One
Thank
last
you.
thing, if you were to give
Yes.
any kind of advice to people who are listening, what piece of advice would you give them while they're on their hormonal healing journey?
I would say just don't give up. Like it takes time. It's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna be like, oh, but I started the program and I got my period a week later. Like, no, you really have to, be strict with yourself and, like just internalize that you are healthy, that you are, and, every day I just say like, I'm so blessed to have woken up, to have eyes, to see the world, to have this comfortable bed, and like, just have, like faith, and just believe that it's going to happen, and internalize it. Like it's going to happen. I'm going to normalize my hormones, and it'll happen.
Fantastic. I love it. I think so many people are going
Yes.
to appreciate that message, because I think
Yes.
in our world, we're led to believe that hormones are going to be fixed overnight because medications
Yeah.
work like that. However, if you want your body to do what it needs to do without you telling it how to do it with medications, you got to give it time, and hormones are so slow.
If a medication says that it works that quick, like turn it around and look at all the side effects. It's like my mom. My mom always says, like, if all those fat burners and stuff worked, there would not be one fat person in the world. Not
So
one. Like
true.
if all of that worked, like the pill, the magic pill,
Yeah.
and the magic shakes, if all of that really works, there wouldn't be a fat person in the world. And
And there
just
wouldn't
like,
be as
damn.
much money as they make, for sure.
Exactly. And if there was no like fertility programs, everybody would just be popping babies left and right. And some
If
people
that's their
are,
goal,
but
yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much, Danielle. I appreciate your
Thank you.
time. I'll talk to you soon,
Yes.
okay?
All righty. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
Bye.